What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy. Welcome back to the Savvy Show. And in today's episode, this one looks pretty weird. This is SCP-2427, a thing full of stuff. And you guys can see for yourself on the thumbnail, this is looking pretty wonky, so your boy's excited to dive deep. So with that being said, if you guys are excited for this reaction as well, and you do enjoy it along the way, please remember to smash that like button for me, and hit that sub button, and join the family. I'm telling you, if you like SCP content, you like my style, this will be the best place to be on the tube to get your fix of SCP heat. And also remember to turn on post notifications so you do not miss an upload. So without any further ado, I don't want to waste any more time. Let's get this show started. Alrighty, SCP-2427, a thing full of stuff. Let's go.
We've all heard of the Led Zeppelin song Stairway to Heaven, a title that invokes the image of a stairway leading up to a land of peace and paradise.
Yeah.
But where else could a stairway lead? To a dusty attic full of old photo albums? To the upper level of a mall where the movie theater and frozen yogurt shop are neatly situated?
Love me some
Perhaps
froyo.
it leads to a rooftop
Hey,
with a
Seattle.
beautiful view.
That's legit Seattle. That's the Space Needle. What the heck?
Or maybe, just maybe,
In Washington.
a staircase could lead you to SCP-2427. SCP-2427, appropriately nicknamed A Thing Full of Stuff, is an extra-dimensional area filled with a variety of unusual and anomalous objects.
It's an area?
SCP-2427
Wow.
can be accessed by way of a broken stone staircase
I see that
located
coming.
in rural Ohio. According to local legend, carrying a sprig of hemlock up the broken stairs will allow a person to emerge into a mysterious grass clearing that appears to be in a forest somewhere in the United States. No matter what time a person ascends the staircase, the solar time in the clearing will always be 2 p.m. You know how people say it's 5 o'clock somewhere? Well, it's 2 o'clock somewhere too.
Yo.
And that somewhere is here. The pocket dimension that is SCP-2427 is thought to have been a holding area for weapons, prisoners, and artifacts belonging to an ancient cult known as the Brazen Heart. Little is known about this
A pocket
relatively
dimension?
obscure cult, other than the fact that they worship the demonic entity Moloch, a known enthusiast of violent human sacrifice, and were previously thought to have been eradicated during the Spanish Inquisition.
Sheesh.
The existence of SCP-2427 suggests that they are very much not eradicated, and are still active. They refer to these holding areas as attics, and though no confirmed members of the Brazen Heart have been contacted, it is considered possible that there are at least a handful of other attics hidden around the world.
Okay.
The Foundation has identified 7 anomalous objects inside of SCP-2427 so far.
Okay, so it looks like the third one right here was the one that was on the thumbnail, I'm assuming. We'll find out soon enough, but this is intriguing.
Each strange in its own beautiful, though often terrible way.
Yeah.
Like snowflakes, if they were capable of killing or maiming you. The first object in SCP-2427, aka SCP-2427-1, is a seemingly normal fire hydrant. However, if you think there's anything normal about the items found here, then you haven't been paying
Nothing's
attention.
never normal.
The hydrant is made out of lead, and when opened, it expels high levels of ionized radiation. No specific measurements of the radiation have been taken yet, but it is definitely hazardous to human health. One unfortunate member of D-Class personnel has proven that it is a high enough level to melt human flesh.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about your face, Dave. The hydrant is
Oh,
currently
wasn't that
contained
bad. I keep on forgetting it's this kind of animation. I don't know why I have a feeling it was going to be super gruesome. Like a real life movie, someone getting a face full of acid. Look, you forgot it was a cartoon for a sec.
within an electrified perimeter and is not to be opened under any circumstances to prevent any further flesh melting. The last thing we need is another Dave incident. The second
Jesus.
object contained within
would've looked a lot worse,
SCP-2427
though.
or SCP-2427-2 is not actually an object at all. It's a building. Only on number 2 and we're already
What?
throwing curveballs at you.
For real?
Trust no one. Surprises lurk around every corner. This particular building resembles a large multi-storied sanitarium built in the 1860s. Though it is clear from the outside that the building has or should have multiple stories, the inside is a different matter. Past the building's front doors is a non-Euclidean space consisting of a single floor and 3 sparsely decorated rooms with one central floor.
Non-Euclidean?
The first room is the holding place for
Seven.
SCP-2427-3. The second contains SCP-2427-4, and the third room contains nothing except scattered religious documents, bottled water, and a selection of canned food.
Oh, so within these 6 or 5 other SCPs in different spots, 2 of them resides in the second one, 3 and 4. Damn, this is getting pretty weird.
No unauthorized staff are permitted to enter the building in order to minimize complications or potential employee casualties. The first 2 anomalies on this list are hardly even strange by SCP Foundation's standards. Sure, the hydrant can melt your face, and the building defies the laws of physics and space.
Let's see the third one.
That's just a regular Tuesday around these parts. Been there, seen that. What else you got? Well, SCP-2427-3 is where things really get
There we
strange.
go. What is that?
If you're wandering through the bowels
Got
of
diamonds on his back?
SCP-2427-2 and you make a wrong turn into the first room, you will find yourself face to face with a startling sight. This entity is a combination of electronic circuitry, a cow's digestive tract, the hairless head of a human man, a hat rack, several lengths of garden hose,
That's a hat rack?
and an unidentified crystalline structure. This creature is
Talk about the definition of random. They had me at the hat rack, bro. What the heck? How are they making up this stuff?
extraordinarily fast and strong, exhibiting carnivorous tendencies and a very strong point of view on the world around it. Lucky for us, it is capable of speech and is able to tell us just what it thinks. Though this monstrosity doesn't have much of a right to pass judgment on anyone, cow intestine, body and all,
How
it
can you
has
even hold
expressed
that?
a violent hatred of all life that it considers impure.
So it eats
Anyone
humans.
who encounters SCP-2427-3 experiences an overwhelming desire to submit themselves for judgment, allowing the creature to determine
Whoa.
their purity. There is a rumor that if one is judged to be pure, they will have a wish granted.
What's the
If they
criteria?
are deemed impure, however, they will be devoured alive.
And what kind of wishes can he grant? Yo, I want to know. What the heck?
If you're tempted to introduce yourself to the creature, your odds are not especially great. The creature has not encountered a single pure being yet.
Damn
in
it.
order to protect the Foundation staff working
So
in
he
its
don't-
vicinity,
He could be just capping out the wishes then. And how would you even know you could grant wishes if that never happened before? SCP's full of some, bro.
the
It
entrance
ain't
to
the good stuff.
SCP-2427-3's room has been sealed off with a reinforced steel door, and the windows have been paved over with concrete. Armed guards are watching the entrance at all times. The creature must be fed 1 live goat per day in order to keep its
Goat?
appetite satiated.
Jesus.
The Foundation's goat budget is through the roof these days,
So let's have a
but
cow
it's worth
intestine.
it to keep the thing contained. Better to spend money on goats now and not spend money on cannibalized personnel later. SCP-2427-4
Damn.
consists not of an object located within a room, but the room itself. The room, which contains no furniture and a linoleum floor, has a peculiar effect on the human psyche. Once a person steps foot into the room, they lose consciousness for 5 minutes. During this time, they will speak freely, listing off a variety of negative qualities about themselves.
Whoa.
Once they wake up, they have no memory of entering this state or anything that they said during it. It's cheaper than therapy, right? But it's also much weirder and less effective, so you get what you pay for in the end. A member of D-Class personnel who was observed inside of the room waxed poetic about his personal failings, beginning his monologue with, "My soul is a den of spiders,"
This is
and ending it
embarrassing.
with, "Oh, here whence I awaken, hesitate not to feed my flesh and my soul to the judge beast." Somebody give this guy a hug. Because the room seems to have no adverse effects on human test subjects, except for causing everyone who hears their monologue a bit of discomfort. There are
For
no
real, I would not
containment
wanna hear.
procedures in effect for it at this time. We've had rooms, fire hydrants, and horrible meat robot
This is
hybrids.
definitely a
And
thing full of
now,
stuff.
you can't even trust the clouds in the sky.
Does it rain
SCP-2427-5
what?
is a seemingly innocent cloud, hovering stationary over the built robot hybrids. And now, you can't even trust the clouds in the sky.
Oh, God. Does it rain lemonade? Come on.
SCP-2427-5 is a seemingly innocent cloud, hovering stationary over the building. When looked at by a human for more than 3 seconds, the cloud will eject a ball of solid lead towards the person at a supersonic speed.
Lead?
That's right, folks. This cloud can and will
Yo.
shoot you.
That's the only common theme within all these different stuff within this big ass SCP. Because the first one, which is the fire hydrant, it's made out of lead. And now this one shoots lead out of a cloud. Well, out of himself, which is a cloud.
It hates being observed, but it also hates when you try to leave the perimeter. It
Damn.
will attack any person attempting to leave by firing the same lead ball at them.
Heat direct?
So far,
What the hell?
14 personnel have been killed by this highly aggressive cloud. And some people still think thunderstorms and hail are the worst things clouds have to offer. So naive. As it is a literal cloud, there is no way to contain it.
Yeah.
So no people in the vicinity of the cloud are permitted to look at it for more than 3 seconds at a time. SCP-2427-6 is a series of 18 small trees spread throughout the instance of SCP-2427. Above ground, the trees look normal, though their species has proven surprisingly difficult to determine. From an external perspective, they are simply ordinary trees. However, radar analysis revealed that the roots of these trees are deeply strange. Instead of the usual twisting tree roots, the ground below these trees contains a mass in the shape of a human body. Much to the disgust of the observing researchers, these humanoid masses occasionally twitch and move,
on just one of them?
as if alive. The trees themselves appear to be growing from the crotch area of each humanoid figure.
The crotch?
How's that for Morningwood? I know, I get it. Bad joke. This
Yo, that was
arrangement
kinda
between
nice, though.
tree and person seems to be some kind of punishment.
What?
As each tree is marked with a plaque reading, "The lecherous suffer what they must, and it is beautiful."
Bro, these must have been like some kind of prisoners or something that suffered this fate. And I'm assuming some greater being did this to them. Like they got buried deep underground and somehow they're still alive and they had to deal with the burden of having a tree grown out of their crotch. Let's just keep pushing.
Until it can be certain that the condition of these human roots is not contagious,
What the heck?
these trees are to be treated as potential biohazards and isolated in individual containers. The final object in SCP-2427...
I wonder if, like, you, punch the tree or, take off a branch. That person down there. Oh, that's funny. The person down under. Does he feel it? That's kind of interesting to think about. Like, is it because it's part of him, it's grown out of him? So I'm assuming it's like an extension of himself. So he will feel any, damage done to the tree.
Currently categorized by the Foundation is SCP-2427-7. SCP-2427-7 is a pile of ashes and wood located just behind a posted sign that reads, "The Liar's Cradle." Extensive testing has been established that the Liar's Cradle was almost certainly used as a torture device in interrogations performed by the Brazen Heart. A person standing within the boundaries of the cradle, which encompasses the aforementioned circle of wood and ashes, is unable to lie without suffering the consequences.
Damn, is he dead already?
Namely, they will be set on fire. The nature of how exactly the Liar's Cradle works is not certain, and more research needs to be done on it. However, this much is known for sure. It contains no sentient intelligence. It is not aware of what it is doing. It does not kill its victims, rather it keeps them miraculously alive as it sets them on fire, prolonging their agony and allowing their interrogators to get the truth out of them. A series of experiments reveal that it only immolates a person who is knowingly lying. D-Class personnel give demonstrably false information to repeat in the cradle without knowledge of its falsehood were not set on fire. However, when those same D-Class personnel knowingly lied in the boundaries, they immediately were set ablaze.
Okay, that's fair.
It is almost certain that the Brazen Heart cult used the cradle as a method of interrogating presumed liars in their midst. Further investigation will likely reveal human remains beneath the cradle itself, though this is just a hypothesis currently. But come on, there has to be some bones somewhere beneath something as ominous as the Liar's Cradle. Though they have only identified 7 anomalies inside SCP-2427 at the moment, there are plenty more lurking in there, waiting to be discovered.
I mean, it's a whole pocket dimension, so that is pretty twisted. Dang.
In the foyer of SCP-2427 in there, waiting to be discovered. In the foyer of SCP-2427-2, the Foundation discovered an extremely ominous list of items, clearly belonging to members of the cult of the Brazen Heart. This list included some familiar items, such as pilgrim provisions, also known as the canned beans and soup found in SCP-2427-2, a Level 3 Purity Proctor, a purge engine, disguised as a fire hydrant, and the Liar's Cradle. However, it also contained many things that have not yet been discovered, such as 1 slaughtering perseverance, 27 pyre children, 3 ascended cultivars,
What the
7
heck is
supreme
that?
angelics, 9 dragons,
Deities?
and the Brazen Heart itself.
What is
Dr.
going
Gordon
on?
McElroy,
I wish we learned more about those. Okay, this SCP is way cooler than I thought.
Site Director of Area 2427, put out a memo to all Level 4 and higher staff assigned to the area after the discovery of this list. Understandably, he was most concerned about the Supreme Angelics and the Dragons, particularly the latter. The cult, as
Same.
most cults are, is fond of deliberately obscure language, but you don't want to rule out the possibility they've got a fire-breathing lizard or two stashed away. In the meantime, as the Foundation is working to better understand the contents of SCP-2427, the area has been sealed off to the public. A 500-meter perimeter has been established around its entrance, and a fake private country club has been set up as a front. It's only a matter of time before the rest of the anomalies on the list are discovered, and this thing full of stuff gets even fuller of even more stuff. Let's just hope none of it ever gets out. Because if there are more of these addicts out there, who knows what else the Brazen Heart is hiding? Their little cult may not be as extinct as we thought.
Dang, this
now
cult's
go
really
check out
interesting.
SC.
I wonder if there's an actual video about this set cult. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys know some good ones, because I would like to dive deep. Or let me know if they have, like, you know, a file on them. So anyway, this was cool. A lot of weird stuff I didn't expect whatsoever. But yeah, this was badass, man. If you guys enjoyed this reaction, please let me know by smashing that like button. Also smash that sub button. Hit that bell so you can stay plugged for each and every upload. And let me know what was your guys' favorite instance of this SCP, or the SCP that was within this big ass SCP, which was the pocket dimension. I'd love to know what your guys' take on it and your favorite one. So yeah, unfortunately though, this ends today's episode. However, I'll catch you guys on the next one.